and launched 25 artillery shells and more than 50 mines. And the situation was tense near Bakhmut Road. In Novatoshkivka, the militants used grenade launchers, and in the afternoon they delivered massive mortar shelling, launching about 50 mines at our positions. And at the same time in Popasnensky region, the intensity of enemy shellings decreased. Yesterday, at this part of front line, one mortar shelling was recorded near Novoalexandrovka. The rest, 5 violations of ceasefire, were with the use of small arms and grenade launchers. In Stanично-Lugansk region, the enemy violated ceasefire twice. After 6 p.m., it delivered mortar shelling in Malinovo, and in the evening, enemy sniper was active in Stanitsa Luganska. During the last 24 hours in the Lugansk area, there were 16 enemy shelling and half was the use of heavy weapons. The Donetsk area. The intensity of enemy fire decreased in Avdiivka and its suburbs. Attacks of the enemy are sporadic and less intense. Heavy weapons is also used less. The decrease of military activity of the enemy is used by repair workers to restore damaged infrastructure of the town. Yesterday, repair crews restored electricity supply for residential quarters and coke and chemical plant. The water supply in Avdiivka is provided from local reservoirs according to the schedule. And today the repair workers will try to repair electricity lines for the Donetsk filtration station. In Svetlodarsk-Balch-Gorlovka perimeter near Donetsk airport, there are low-intensity military actions with sporadic use of heavy weapons and mainly mortars. During the last 24 hours in the Donetsk area, there were 35 enemy shelling and 18 with the use of heavy weapons. Mariupol area, the number of shellings remained the highest, 57 instances of violations of ceasefire during the last 24 hours, and the militants more actively use heavy weapons, and there are tanks, cannons and mortars that are used, and the area with the intense military actions is eastern approach to Mariupol. Heavy weapons was used yesterday only light hours of the day. More than 70 artillery shells and 160 mines were launched at Ukrainian positions along the front line: Gnutovo, Talakivka, Vodene and Shirokine. In Mariinsky region, the enemy violated ceasefire 3 times and delivered 2 short-term mortar shellings. In the region of Dokuchaevsk, the occupants launched 10 artillery shells at our positions and in Taramchuk, and they delivered short-term armed provocations on Novotroitsky. During the last 24 hours, as a result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed, but 7 were wounded. In Slavyansk, SBU detained an informant of so-called DPR. Starting 2014, a woman got orders of curators from illegal armed group that is called DPR, and she provided information about weaponry deployment and movement of ATO forces in the region of Slavyansk. The data that she got, she provided secretly to her curators through internet or by phone. And SBU officers detained a militant who safeguarded Ukrainian hostages in the occupied Donetsk. And this man tried to cross line of confrontation to meet his relatives. Investigation continues. One more militant of so-called DPR was detained near Gorlovka. Local resident in summer 2014 was properly trained and joined military units of DPR, the militant repeatedly took part in military actions against Ukrainian forces near Gorlovka. At the same time, another former militant used SBU program that is called They Wait For You Back Home. He was detained in his own house in August 2014 by DPR militants for violating curfew, and he was sent to checkpoint, and for months he was serving at this checkpoint, but he wasn't armed. And this man has all the chances to avoid criminal responsibility. In the region of ATO, SBU officers found weapons of Russian production. At the front line near Zaitsevo, Donetsk Oblast, the officers confiscated Shmel rocket launcher, and also it was left behind after the enemy retreated from this part, and this weapon is not in the inventory of Ukrainian armed forces. At Novodroitsk checkpoint, they established 4 new modules for verification. These modules provide 20 additional points of providing services. This was provided by the UNO Agency on Refugees in the framework of Technical Assistance Program. And also near a checkpoint, international humanitarian organizations also established 2 heating tents. Thank you. Do you have questions? There are no questions. Thank you.